Hey, what is going on, World Civ kids? It's me, Mr. Mori. Today's notes video is going to be on the Italian unification. And I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because you really only need to know some very general aspects of it. And most of the test comes from the German unification. I'll let you know anything that a question comes from today's notes. But before we do that, I wanted to show you guys something cool. I did say that I was going to do this, right? It's got to load a little bit. This is my book cover. It still needs to load a little bit. It's still a little fuzzy. But yeah, this is going to be my next printed thing, right? You can get like really close on this thing. You can go like, look at those teeth, those eyes, the eyes of death. But yeah, I am not going to tell you how much it costs because I mean when you zoom in you can see all the little things, but yeah. It's pretty nice. It's gonna be a full wraparound cover, right? So the right half of it is going to be the front. The spine will probably be about right here. Yeah, and then this will be the back. This is where the book description will be. The barcode will be down here. My logo, the Mistwood logo, will be down here. My name and the book title going vertically about right there with a little bit of words up there. And then on this, my name will be down here and the title will be up there. And kind of my uncle, actually, who lives in Texas, this was an ebook thing that I did. And so this is kind of what you could expect down there. I really like it because he always does this cool thing where like the head, like there's like some layering going on with the lettering, like with the axe there. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it, obviously. It might not sound like it because it's really early in the morning, but I am. I actually was like unable to sleep last night because I got it before I fell asleep, and it was like, you know, because it's a big deal. It is a very big deal. So I imagine that the title, which is The Veil of Stars, will somehow incorporate this axe into the wording, and I don't know, maybe his shield or something with my name. I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I envision the letters being a dark blue, but he's usually better at deciding the color than me. So it's just something cool. Something cool. You know, a little bit of good news in these dark times, at least for me anyway. And you know what? I think that seeing other people happy has its positives. There's my character. Let's get real close. Just real close on his face there. Yeah. He's supposed to be an orc. Of course, orcs in my books are very noble, and they're not quite so ugly as maybe you are accustomed to. There's Talia. Elf lady. Thrusting. Oh my gosh. So violent. Well, it's actually pretty consistent with my writing. My writing is very violent. I requested for these things because we got a Spartan kit going on here. I mean, it's pretty epic. I'm just saying. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, hopefully I can get that printed and out for purchase sometime this early summer. I'll show you whenever the lettering's done too, just because why not? You guys are my students. You know, it's not every teacher you have that writes his own novels, right? I think it's cool, but that's because it's me. Alright, so the Italian unification. Again, I'm going to go through this very quickly because it really is not the most thrilling subject in the world. In my opinion, some people, especially Italians, might disagree, but that's okay. We're allowed to find different things interesting. Essentially, a big reason that we cover this, well, is just like with Germany, Italy hasn't really ever been a country, not in the way that we think of it. Like in the Renaissance and stuff, Italy was kind of like what you see here, right? In fact, this map is of the Renaissance, and that is that it was separated into a bunch of smaller states, or city-states, if you will, a lot like ancient Greece with the Spartans and the Athenians and places like that. So again, you know, you had the Medici and Florence, and so they kind of ruled this territory here unofficially, and sometimes officially. But yeah, Italy has not been its own country. In 1815, at the close of the Napoleonic Wars, the great powers wanted to restore stable governments to Europe after 26 years of turmoil. All right. The Pope was going to kind of be the one that controlled most of Italy, if not directly, then unofficially, kind of overshadowing things. So yeah, Italy, not a country yet. I'm going to skip that. Alright, so after the Napoleon Wars, Lombardy and Venetia, which you see here and here, were ruled by Austria, but they wanted, you know, the Italian nationalists are going to want that to be a part of Italy. In the 1820s, nationalistic movements emerged in the northern provinces of Italy as a dream for a unified Italy, just like with Germany. Again, I'm going through this quickly. Pause the video if you need more time to write something down. Italian nationalists Giuseppe Mazzini, Giuseppe Garibaldi, Camillo Benso de Cavour, and Victor Emmanuel II are considered like the founding fathers or the patron saints of the Italian unification. These four men are the ones that dedicate their lives to making a unified Italy into a reality. Mazzini and Garibaldi will lead a revolt against the monarchy in 1833 in Lombardy, but it is unsuccessful. Now, you probably are going to be able to guess what year the successful revolution takes place, and that is, yes, you guessed it, 1848. It is that very important year. If you can't read this title, it says the First Independence War dash 1848. So revolutionary riots break out throughout the Italian peninsula in 1848. Lombardy, Piedmont, and Venetia revolt against Austria. The Kingdom of Sardinia declares war on Austria, but gets allies in the Papal States and the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Austria is triumphant for the time being. Something you're going to notice here is that Italy really can't win any war without Prussia's help, which is actually going to be the case in World War II as well. The Second War of Independence in 1859, the Second Independence War, also known as the Austro-Sardinian War, is declared by the Kingdom of Sardinia in 1859. Emperor Napoleon III of France and the Prime Minister of Sardinia, Count Cavour, signed a treaty of alliance against Austria. So France, Napoleon III, and the unifying forces of Italy make a treaty against Austria. France would help Sardinia to fight against Austria, but for that help, France needed Nice and Savoy. Nice is where the Italian patriot Garibaldi is from, so a little bit of betrayal is necessary on Cavour's part. So he gives that territory to France as a reward for helping them, which is going to create some discontent amongst the leaders of the Italian unification. The war is won with the French's help. King Emmanuel II takes control of Lombardy, and France takes Savoy and Nice. Revolts in Parma, Modena, Tuscany are successful, and the people invite King Emmanuel II to rule over them as well. So Italy is slowly being unified more and more. I told you I was going to go through this quickly. In 1860, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies was invaded by a volunteer army led by Garibaldi. He was a little bit angry about losing his home to the French. He defeated the army of the Sicilian king, and in 1861, King Emmanuel II took control of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. I might have butchered that a little bit. I don't think he was actually... I think Garibaldi was fighting for King Emmanuel II. At any rate, they continue to take new territories, and that's what you need to get from that. After this, the only part left is Rome and Venetia, which you can see right here is largely... this is controlled by the Austrians. All of that is not necessary. No specific detail of what we just talked about is going to be on the test, other than maybe knowing some of the founding fathers of the Italian unification. Basically what you need to get from that is that Italy is taking great efforts to unify and seeing a moderate amount of success, but also a lot of failure too. So the Third Independence War in 1866 is pitting the new Kingdom of Italy. I'm going to fix that right now. That has always bothered me, and I don't know why I've never fixed it. There we go. I'm like, what? I don't know why I had it like that. It's stupid. Does that look good? Let me file over those two. This is going to happen at the same time as the 7 Weeks War, which is essentially, if you remember me talking about the German unification, Italy is going to benefit from this because although Italy loses every battle in this war that they fight against Austria to get back Venetia, they still get the territory as a reward because Prussia gives it to them as like a participation trophy. Italian spaghetti. I mean, you get the gift. It's not hard to figure out. To summarize, the Third Independence War is going on at the same time as the 7 Weeks War with Prussia and Austria, and Italy, although they lose every battle pretty much, will benefit and get Venetia just as kind of a participation trophy. And you're like, why would Prussia do that? Well, it makes an ally, and it also, it's territory that now Austria doesn't have. It solidifies an ally, which I think I already said, and there was one other reason. I can't think of it right now, but maybe it will come back to me. There was one other reason, though. Yeah, Italy gets their participation trophy, and that leaves only Rome left to deal with. The problem with Rome is that the Pope lives there. So Pope Pius IX was an angry pope, and a very angry pope was he. He lost his papal states to the Kingdom of Italy in 1860. I bet you thought that was going to rhyme, but it doesn't. The first line rhymes. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. He lost his papal states to the Kingdom of Italy in 1860, and his power was now slipping even further as the actual city of Rome itself is now under attack by Italian nationalists. Now, he asked for help by the only other major Catholic nation in Europe that remains, and that is France. So he asks Napoleon III for help to help secure the city of Rome so that the Italian nationalists will not take it from him, because the Pope likes his power. He likes being in control. The Pope's been in control of this territory for hundreds of years at this point. So France, seeing a chance to possibly add Italian lands to their country and a chance of controlling the Pope, invaded Italy under the pretense of protecting the Pope. King Emmanuel II could not hope to defeat the French in Rome, so he's going to hold off. But if you're paying attention during the German unification, after the 7 Weeks War, there is a war between Prussia and France. And that war is also going to benefit the Italians. The Franco-Prussian War is going to benefit the Italians because it's a war going on between Prussia and France. Napoleon III is no longer able to defend Rome and the Pope, so he is going to take his forces back to France to deal with the invading Prussians, and well, you know what happens then. Meanwhile, in Italy, Garibaldi urges King Emmanuel II to act now as a means of finally taking Rome. It's defenseless. He does that. Rome is captured on September 20th, 1870 by the Italian forces, and Pope Pius IX retreats into St. Peter's Basilica, where the Pope remains for the next 59 years until 1929. This is, right here, this picture, this is St. Peter's Basilica, which that is actually a test question to know where the Pope flees. I know it's not underlined, but maybe write that down because it is a test question. So yeah, the Pope is essentially kicked out of his seat of power as a government official. He's still the Pope. You know, he's still in charge of the Catholic Church. But, you know, he's no longer like the governor of those territories, if you will. So yeah, after that, Italy is unified. Italy moves its capital from Florence to Rome in 1871, and Italy is unified as one country. And that is the end of the German unification and the Italian unification. There is a worksheet today. It is also on Bismarck. So yesterday and today you have a worksheet on Bismarck to do. Yesterday's was on the Blood and Iron speech, and also a speech he gave in college, or to a college. I think it was to a college. It wouldn't make sense if it was during college. And then today's is just kind of like a general information about Bismarck. It's like, it'll take you like 10 minutes. So answer the discussion question. Actually, let's not do a discussion today. Let's just have the worksheet. If you wrote down the notes for the Italian unification, that's enough for me. We're not going to have an Italian unification discussion question, because that's how minimal it is, you know. So make sure you wrote down the notes. Make sure that's in your notebook. I don't know when exactly I'm going to have a Zoom meeting to check your notes, or if I'll do it some other way. I'm still thinking about that and considering that, but no discussion today. Have a happy Friday. Have a good weekend, but definitely do that Bismarck worksheet. Monday, we will be reviewing. We'll have a data review for the test. It's 32 questions, and it's honestly pretty darn easy. Like, in all seriousness, it's pretty darn easy. And so Tuesday you'll be taking the test. Wednesday we start World War I. Have a lovely weekend. Take care of yourself. And yeah, I got that awesome cover. Peace out.